My experience was actually pretty positive. Um, because of my background, this is not an unfamiliar test format for me, even with the pressure of it being all or nothing thing at the um, end of the program. So I entered it with a little bit different perspective than maybe some of the other people, and I did not stress over it near as much as I've noticed a lot of my classmates did. And from what I understand, that is really the only thing that can really hold you back on this comps exam. You've taken the classes, you know the content, you've written about these topics before. The thing that really can trip you up is if you get stressed out and let that stress inhibit your ability to take the exam. The best way to prepare for the test is to start early. That first semester that you're in school, go ahead and set some folders up in your computer and save all the papers and all the material that you cover during those core classes, because your comps exam question is going to cover at least 2, probably 3 or 4 of those core classes. And once you have that stuff in your computer, or are best friends with someone who is smart enough to do that, then really you just need to take a day or so and just review the stuff. Don't try to memorize it. You don't even really need to read it. You just have to know where everything is. I mean, this is a library degree. You should be able to build your own little library for this test. The thing is this is a 4-day exam. Everyone, I mean, the people who give out the tests understand that, things come up. So they give you, and they err on the side of giving you way too much time to do this test and not give you enough, because no one wants to read something that was written at the last minute. So you have 4 days. Does not mean you have to take 4 days to take the exam. That's a little contrary to our experience in grad school. I mean, at least for me, you gave me 2 weeks to write a paper. I was going to take off 2 weeks to write that paper. So it feels kind of weird saying that they give you 4 days to write an exam, you don't need to spend the 4 days. Because it's not going to take you that long to write it. It's just a paper. It's just like the paper you wrote for 5033 and for all your other classes. So what I did is I didn't even start writing until the second day. The first day I received a question. I broke it down into parts and started mapping the parts of the question to my different classes and the different areas that I wanted to cover in the paper. And that only took an hour or so. And then I did some classwork for a class I was taking. And then after class I came back home and started building a good outline. And once I had that outline, I went to bed. And woke up the next day and started looking up information, started deciding which material I was going to cite for the paper, and started writing that afternoon. Honestly, I probably wrote that afternoon and a little bit the next day, and took a break from it and started editing it. One mistake I did make was I thought it would be a genius idea, since it was due Monday morning, to finish it Sunday, and then, since I wake up early anyway, wake up early Monday morning, do one final edit so it's nice and perfect and I don't misspell every other word like I want to do sometimes, and turn it in. The thing that happened was Sunday night, I woke up, I looked at the alarm clock, and the time on the time on the clock was after the exam was supposed to be turned in. So I was convinced I had, because if you don't turn that exam in, then it doesn't matter how brilliant your work was, you failed. Fortunately, that was just a fever to dream. I woke up at 2:30 at night, just freaking out that I failed comps, but everything was okay. And I looked over the paper one more time, and the office got my submission at like 3 in the morning. But I've also been told that I was one of the last people to turn it, if not the last person. Everyone finishes early, so yeah, as soon as you write that paper and it looks decent, turn it in. Have a drink and then don't worry about it anymore.